Thank you so much, Julia, and I'd like to join with you in acknowledging that we are here on Gadigal land in the New South Wales Parliament and recognising that it always was and always will be First Nations land, and acknowledge that in the unfolding of the genocide that we have seen in Palestine over the last 2 years, that the real and ongoing struggle against the invasion and colonisation impacts on First Nations people continue to be felt in this country, and recognise the leadership that those communities have shown and continue to show for us. I want to really thank the co-chair of the Parliamentary Friends of Palestine, Julia Finn, for her efforts in putting this screening together. So thank you, Julia. But I think both of us would agree that we should be also saying a very big thank you to Rafa. So congratulations and thank you, Rafa, for your efforts. At a time when so many challenges exist in our world, it is wonderful to be able to find a place where we can come together as Parliamentary Friends of Palestine, and I think have been able to use that connection, acknowledging the other members of Parliament that are here with us, Anthony Day Adam and Cameron Murphy and others who have given their apologies because they're stuck in various votes and chambers. You can hear the bells go. But to recognise that the idea of how we show solidarity and support, not just for what has occurred inside Palestine and at Gaza, but what continues to happen in the occupied Palestinian territories, but the impact on Palestinian communities here in Sydney and in Australia is significant. I want to acknowledge that this event tonight is co-supported with the Palestinian Australian Welfare Association, the Palestinian Christians in Australia and Union Aid Abroad, AFIDA, and thank them for their support. And just acknowledge, as Julia said, the work of indeed the incredible folks on the Northern Beaches that have been part of this original film, and indeed the ongoing work that the Northern Beaches Committee for Palestine does in relation to this work. And say that it is really confronting to think that some of the children in this film have been the victims of horrific attacks by the IDF and the genocide that has occurred. And we know that these have been struggles and threats that have been faced by Palestinian people for the 78 years of the Israeli occupation. I also want to acknowledge that we're gathering here tonight 5 days after the Palestinian National Day and recognise and acknowledge the ongoing struggle for sovereignty and recognition for Palestinian people. And just to say that I hope that we can continue to do this work. And I acknowledge that Stephen Lawrence just came in, another parliamentary colleague, and say that we were able to co-host a briefing with some international law experts in the Parliament this week. And I think that it was a good reminder to us as New South Wales parliamentarians, the roles and the obligations that we can hold this government to account on, and indeed the role that we have as a state to participate in what are international law obligations that Australia holds and has signed up to. And I really hope that all of you that are here tonight will continue to hold us to make sure that we continue to use our positions of power in New South Wales to ensure that there is respect and defence of human rights for everyone around the world. So thank you very much to Julia and to Rafa for your logistical efforts in coordinating this film, and thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's always a pleasure to have real humans in the Parliament after a brutal sitting week, so thanks for joining us.